Howdy y'all, and welcome back to KT's Kitchen Corner. So inspired by this being 4th of July week, at least as I am filming this, I thought that I would make for the first time Krusty's blueberry muffins. I'm a little scared to bake with blueberries or berries of any kind because it's a little scary to think of the moisture content inside the baking and like how they might work together. And so I have dragged my feet on making this for a while, but it's been in my pantry long enough, and it is 4th of July. What is more 4th of July than blueberries, right? Or something like that. So here we go. Krusty's, not sponsored, just happens to be the one I'm not allergic to the ingredients of. So here, let's get started. I did open the box already, but I thought I would make this for the first time with you so you could see how easy or difficult it is to make for the very first time with me. This is Krusty's, and it comes with a can of blueberries. So let's get started, shall we? I've got hopefully everything I need right here in front of me. And the first thing we see is, of course, preheat your oven and drain and rinse your blueberries. So let's get started on that. You need to set your oven for 375 degrees. So I set mine about 10 degrees higher because it's got a little bit of a glitch, but that's fine. Then I need to drain and rinse my blueberries. So it came with a can of blueberries. You're going to need to have a can opener available to you, which I've already done that step. And I'm gonna open these up. Ooh, looks pretty. Don't know if the camera can follow me, and I don't have a camera person handy, so hang on a moment. Ta-da! Hey, this is my real kitchen, so I'm gonna drain and rinse my blueberries according to the instructions. Wow, these are small blueberries. I expected bigger blueberries. What can I say? I'm gonna rinse these. Woo! Pretty color. I'm not sure what I expected, but it wasn't this. The color actually reminds me more of like raspberries than blueberries, but see? I don't know how long I should rinse and agitate these. It's a bit of a guessing game for me. All right, so what does it say now? Rinse blueberries in cold water and set aside. All right, so I've rinsed them. I'm setting them aside. I cleaned my sink already, so I'm just setting it aside in the other clean side of my sink. Put this there. And how far does the camera? Okay, here we go. Then we're going to stir together the rest of our ingredients, which include 3/4 cup almond milk, or cashew milk, or regular milk, depending on who you are making this for. I choose to go with unsweetened Glyphia almond milk. Again, not sponsored, just what I go with. There are also non-nut options, non-cow options as well out there that you could look into. Okay, where is my 3/4? There it is. I wanted to do this in a small measuring cup, but all of our 3/4 cups seem to be unavailable to me at the moment. So, and 1/2 cup of melted butter, or in my case, olive oil. You can also use any other kind of oil that is your go-to oil for baking. At least that has been the case with every Krusty's mix that I have used in the past. All right, 1/2 cup of that, 3/4 cup of the other. Yep. Close this up. And eggs. 3 eggs. Probably should have done that before I did the milk and the oil, but oh well. shell did not like cooperating with me just now, but I managed to keep the shell from going into the mix. Move this over here. Okay. Move this over here. And now I put my mix into here. I'm going to stir this up first though. It's wet ingredients. I don't know how chunky it's going to be, so I'm going to use a baking spatula. Just a quick mix because I like to break up the egg yolk before I add dry mixes to things. Quick tip if you like to use or would like to use box mixes, but you tend to either have a lot of poof when it happens or you haven't had the courage to do it. If you want to cut the whole way across, but you don't want a big powder flying everywhere, just cut a little tiny bit, like just the tip, let the air into the bag for a moment, and then all of your mix is going to drop down far enough that you can then cut better without having a poof of your powder, whether it's flour or full-on mix, flying in your face. So I don't know technique yet for this. Some techniques call for putting in a little at a time. The stir-in did not say anything about add a little bit of a time at a time, so I am just putting it all in and I'm going to evenly mix it around. We'll see how easy this is. So, curious, have you ever made blueberry muffins or pancakes or any other type of berry dessert? If you have you done it gluten-free before? You can leave comments below, just keep them in love. So far I'm finding this to be a little bit tricky, mostly because it's mixing in the middle, but the outside is not wanting to come together quite as well. But it's not really bad. Personally, I have neck and grip strength issues quite often, but this is a wet enough mix that I don't think you should need a standing or hand mixer for this unless you have a lot of problems mixing things yourself. Okay, it's coming together quite nicely suddenly, so that's good. I have to switch my hands a little bit, or at least my grip area of my hands a little bit, but it's not too bad. Comes together pretty easily. I think it was a good call to go with the baking spatula instead of a whisk, because I think it's just consistent enough that it would have gotten kind of stuck inside the whisk. So it's now all stirred together, something like this. Hopefully you can see that well. And when I pick this up, it's kind of a bit of a ribbon. Comes down. All right, now fold drained blueberries into batter and then fill the muffin cups 3/4 full. And they are very clear to let you know not to eat the raw batter. So, because they do, I will. So there we go. All right, so the next step is folding in the rinsed and drained blueberries. Do I need to dry them into anything? That's the question that I wish it would have answered, because I'm really worried about the moisture content of the berries. Leaching into the full muffins. All right, before I do that, I'm gonna prepare my muffin tins. All right, we're almost at 300 degrees on the oven, so this might take me enough time to do this. I'll set this aside for just a moment. Going to grease these. Hey, what can I say? It's a working kitchen. All right. All right, then I'm going to dry around. Could I have used paper liners? Yes, which may have been smarter. I don't know. Again, doing this for the very first time, so I don't know what's going to be easier or more difficult. And personally, I spent enough time searching for other things related to baking today that searching for my paper inserts wasn't at the top of my list. So instead, I am greasing the pan. So I'm going to check and make sure that it is well greased the whole way up on all sides. There's one that needs a smidgen more. So if you have the need of a little bit more, you could either just put some olive oil straight onto here from your bottle of olive oil, or you could spray your spray of choice onto a paper towel and put it where there's any missing, and then dry up any parts that are too saturated. Okay, so I've done this. I've prepared, oh no, put it there, Kate. Prepared my tin. Put this back away. We are at 340 degrees right now. We are looking for 375, so it should come up to full heat any moment. All right, so I guess I'm doing this then. For something to scoop them in, because they're supposed to fill about 3/4 of the way in, and I don't like trusting my grip on a big bowl to pour it in. So I have my spoon ladle when we're ready to do that, and now I need to fold in my blueberries. Whew, scary. It's already dripping. Why are you dripping? Okay, so this is the part of the instructions, like I said, I'm a little bit leery of. I wish that they had given more instructions. Yes, I've rinsed and drained, but should I put them in like some kind of cloth to drain out the moisture? I don't know. But I'm gonna fold them in now. From a friend of mine who did a lot of baking in the past, I learned to go down the middle and then around the side. Down, over, turn, down, over. This is how I was taught to fold, and then once around. Down, over, down the middle, over, and then all the way around. So that's how I was taught to fold something in. Sometimes it's more difficult than others. This folded in pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna start. There's my oven, ready. So I'm gonna start filling my pans, 3/4 full. One. That does not look like 3/4 yet. What is it? Oh man. This consistency is a little bit difficult to work with. And that's probably more than 3/4, but oh well. if you're still with me right now on this, I'm curious if you have a favorite type of muffin and whether or not you consider muffins with cinnamon or dessert type items still a muffin, or do you consider them a cupcake? Because I have heard that this is a debate amongst people who like muffins and who like cupcakes. I personally, why am I still holding something this heavy? I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about it because I like cupcakes, but I've never been a big muffin person. So I don't have a big opinion on it. If all muffins could be like cupcakes, I would not be disappointed. But if that sounds too sugary sweet for you for a muffin, then, I mean, okay. Well, this is going to take up more than this pan. Woof. This is so messy. Ah. Okay. Well, that is 3/4 filled, 12 muffins sheet pan. So I'm gonna stick them in and look at the box to see, where'd the box go? Oh, there's the box. How long I'm supposed to put it in for. 12 standard muffins, about 20 minutes. So, probably should have taken one of these racks out, darn it. Okay. You want to give muffins a chance to rise. I do know that much about muffins and cupcakes. So I just took out one of my racks from my oven and I'm going to go and let this cook after I set the timer, which I will do right now. And I will see you back here in about 20 minutes for me, which will be about half a second for you. Thanks for watching so far. I hope you come back for the second part. Bye. Okay, so what I ended up doing was, of course, baking the dozen that I already had here, and then I actually found my paper cups right here, and I used some blue and white ones, and I filled 3 of those and baked those along with these. So the dozen took about 21 minutes in total, and the 3 over here also took about 20 minutes. So according to the box, at this point, I have now waited approximately 2 to 4 minutes, and now I'm supposed to start loosening these if they aren't in the cupcake papers. So that's my next step. I assume I will need a knife possibly, so let me get one of those out just in case, or a small frosting spatula. One of those probably will be what is asked of you. Okay, let's see how easy this is. I did spray it quite well beforehand. See how easy or not easy. It comes out! Okay, so now let me get a container to put them in. Something to put them on. Plate. You may have noticed I didn't have hugely high hopes for this. Alright, so I have my first blueberry muffin fresh out of the pan. That one came out even easier. So as you can see, all I did was spray this. I used Pam purely olive oil. In case you're wondering what kind of Pam I used, what flavor or what kind of oil it was, I am allergic to coconut and palm, so I have to have the purely olive oil. I also can't have any flowers in it because I'm allergic to glutens. So if that's not an issue for you, pretty much any oil should probably work to grease your pan. Wow, I am really impressed at how easily these are coming out. All right. Now I will say, if you're used to working with this brand and you have made their cinnamon swirl coffee cakes, this batter is probably the same batter because it was the same amount of like thick stickiness. It is ribbony consistency when you pull the spatula out, but when you actually try pouring it, it's pretty sticky. So just bear that in mind. But here are a dozen muffins, not with any papers, and they came out really, really easily. Now, let's see about these, which have been cooling for about 2 minutes behind me. See how easy these are to take out. I mean, obviously, they're in papers. They should be easy to take out. And I figure since it's blue, red, white, and blue week, I used blue and white papers for my blueberry muffins. So, let's try it. Is this too hot to try? For anyone out there who is used to eating or baking muffins, am I doing this right or not? Remember, keep your comments in love, but I am curious. All right, so here we go. My first taste of blueberry muffins of any kind, because I've been allergic to dairy since I was 6, and that wasn't exactly something that my family thought to feed me before I knew I was allergic to dairy. And, well, anyways, here we go. My first taste of a blueberry muffin. Not bad. It tastes about how it smells while you're baking it. So that doesn't make a lot of sense over the video, but once you start smelling it while you're prepping it and baking it, that's pretty much what it tastes like. My only conundrum is one of the things I was concerned about as well with blueberries is they have a bit of a peel to them. And I am getting that in my teeth just a little bit, so that's a tad bit of a bummer. But if you like their strawberry whirl coffee cake, again, this is Kinnikinnick, not sponsored, but not Kinnikinnick, Krusty's, my bad. If you like the Krusty's strawberry whirl, swirl, whatever it's called, coffee cake, the actual batter of this, the bread of this, tastes very similar to that, minus all the sugar and cinnamon swirly stuff on top. So I'm very familiar with that taste. It's just the blueberries, and the blueberries are a good taste. It's just that peel that gets to me. Otherwise, this was a good experience. There's also instructions on here if you want to make a coconut almond crunch muffin, which I couldn't do because, as aforementioned, I'm allergic to coconuts. And there's also some instructions if you live at different altitudes or dryness of what you can do to modify this to more easily bake it for yourself. But all in all, I think this was a pretty good experience, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Apparently you don't need to dry the blueberries like I was concerned about. Just drain them a decent amount of time before you actually try to introduce them to your batter so that they're not too wet, but I don't think it made the mix too wet. So that's good. I wish that they had said something about it in here, but that's okay. But yeah, all in all, out of 10, what would I give these? It's hard to say compared to other blueberry muffins because, again, this is my first experience. When it comes to a baked good itself, for my taste, it's about an 8. I enjoy it, but I would probably bake brownies first because brownies have chocolate. Chocolate is tastier and they're a lot easier. But this was pretty easy. So I hope you've enjoyed baking along with me and watching my first taste reactions. Thanks for coming along and ciao for now. Bye. Happy baking, y'all.